Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another espresso project. So today's project is going to be a really quick one. It's going to be an insert folder that you can make as a standalone project or add to your albums just to have a nice insert in there for some extra opportunity for photos. So this version I've made to go with my Vagabond in Japan album. If you haven't seen that project share yet, I highly recommend it. I've put a link on top so you can click on there and it will bring you to that project share. So this folder, it holds for me now about 15 photos. You can add a little bit more, but you also don't want to make it too bulky. So we have here a small pocket that in this case can hold a full-size photo, and I also have a smaller card in there to keep everything closed. This flap opens up and can hold 2 full-size photos in portrait or landscape style. I say that only in portrait style. Then we have a pouched pocket here on the bottom that you can fill up with photos. I have about 3 photos in here now. And then you could place a photo here on the bottom. I didn't do that, as you can see. I have some smaller photo or journal opportunity or just pattern paper here on the flaps. And these flaps actually make sure that everything that's in the middle here is not falling out. And I did the same thing on the inside of the flaps, and then I have loose photos here in the middle. So I have 4 now. And then this beautiful pattern paper here. So this is quite a large version. Let me put everything back quickly. Go in there. And so if you want to make it for your album, you must have a pretty big album. So for that reason, in the cutting guide, you will not find 1, not 2, but 3 different sizes of this project that you can make. So the large one is an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 finished size. Then we have a smaller one that can still hold full-size photos, 6 1/2 by 6 1/2 inches, and that's the one that I'm going to show you in the tutorial. And then I've also made a version that is 8 1/4 in length, but only 6 1/4 in width. So in this case you can place a photo landscape or portrait, just one here on the top flap, and you can still add your full-size photos in this project, but it's a little bit smaller, so maybe yeah, easier to fit in an album if you want to. So in the cutting guide you find 3 different sizes. The constructions for all 3 of them is exactly the same. I'm going to show you the small version with the craft paper, and you will see this comes together really quick. You only need a few pieces of cardstock. So I have labeled all my pieces, I've scored them, and I've placed my tape. So your first main piece is your piece A. So depending on the size that you're making, this is going to be larger or the same size. You have 1 score line, and you can just fold on that score line towards the bumpy side. Then we have piece B. So piece B has 1 score line, and tape will go on the dented side between your cut edge and your 1/2 inch score line. If you want to, I only see my small scissors here, but that's fine. You can taper the 1/2 inch for hiding construction. I really like to do that. Fold towards the bumpy side, burnish that fold, and then piece B will go on top of piece A on the large part. So when we open this flap up, it will go along the top edge here on that larger part. So I'm going to turn it sideways because I always like to attach my things like that. Remove the tape backing. And just align up the sides and the top cut edge as best as you can. Hold it in place. And remove that tape backing and give that a burnish. So this is what we have now. Then we have piece C, which is a large pocket. So you have score lines on 3 sides, and tape goes on the dented side between your cut edge and your score line, and we are going to miter the corner. So normally I would do this with a larger scissor. I'm not too good at this with the small scissors, but we'll see how it goes. So miter the corners where your score lines intersect, and then I'm also going to taper the 1/2 inch here on top. Again, that is for hiding construction. Just like that, just angle that a little bit. And then fold and burnish towards the bumpy side on all 3 score lines. That, and then our main piece, this is what we did so far. Open it up, so you have that small flap of piece A here. That's where we're gonna attach it, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna line up the opening of the pocket with the cut edge of that piece. So again, I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to remove the tape backing from one of the shorter sides. This is for me the easiest way, but you can do this however you want. And like I said, the opening of the pocket lined up with the cut edge here. So I'm just going to start here on that short side to line up those edges as best as I can. And then remove the rest of the tape backing. Bringing it along that cut edge. Hopefully my pieces are straight. And then what you will see is that the bottom of the pocket and the score line, you have a spacing there, about a 1/8 inch space. I'm not sure how well that is visible with the light, but that's what you want. So when you fold it closed, it can still lay nice and flat. So we're almost there already, because we only have our 2 pieces D, which are going to be like our bumper flaps here on the side. So you have 1 score line, tapes on the dented side between the cut edge and your score line for both pieces. So you can burnish, fold and burnish those folds. And you don't have to angle your 1/2 inch. If you want to, you can. And you can also use a corner punch on these flaps if you want to. For now, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see how much space I need to center this, because I like it centered, and I believe it's 5/8 of an inch from the score line here. So let me check that. 5/8 of an inch. Yep, 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to make a little pencil mark. That's going to be my guideline to center it. So I use that mark for the height on where I want it, and then I bring it along that edge. And burnish that, and then I will do the same thing here. I'm just gonna make a quick tick mark, 5/8 of an inch from the score line, because I'm not very good at eyeballing things. I always regret it when I try to do that, so let's just not do it. And then do the same thing here. And then our bumpers are in place. So in this version, the smaller version, you can place a photo here, but you need to crop it, right? Okay, so now when we close it, the only thing that's left is our piece E, which for this smaller version, I've made a smaller pocket. So you won't be able to fit a full-size photo in this one, but a 3x4. Because I think if you do a full-size photo on here, it might be a little bit out of balance. But if you want to, you can use the E pocket from one of the other 2 pieces, because you can place that will fit on here as well. But then you will get this if you place a full-size photo on here. So you can do it, it's up to you what you want to do. So this is a smaller piece E pocket, score lines on 3 sides, tape on the dented side. We're gonna miter the corners. If you want to, you can taper your 1/2 inch here. It depends on how you're gonna do it, if you really need to do it. Because what I would do normally, I won't do it now, but I would first place a piece of pattern paper here, and then stick my pocket on top of that pattern paper. So that is what I did on this piece here. And what I did is I've placed the pattern paper 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom, so for 1/8 inch border, and then I lined up the bottom of the pocket with the bottom edge of the pattern paper, and then I still have a nice gap there. So I hope you can see that, what I'm trying to say. But that is what I would normally do. For now I'm just going to place it down. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to throw it away at least. So let me see. I think it's 1 and, let's see, this is 1 3/8, so 1 1/2 and 1 1/2 to center it. So again, I am making that little tick mark when I'm centered. That's going to be my guideline, and I'm going to place it about 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom edge, and let's check if that is right. You still want to have at least a 1/8 inch gap between the pocket and your flap, and that will work. So this is a really small pocket. I'm just removing all the tape backing here. And then I use my little tick mark, that's really hard for you to see probably, to determine the center of the piece, and then try to make it straight from the bottom. Stick it down. And then we can close it, and then, well, I can take this for now. We can place a smaller photo or journal card or something in here to keep it closed, and that's all that's to it. It's quick, it's simple, but it's really effective. It's a nice addition to your albums, or like I said, as a standalone project for just to keep some photos in there of a nice event or for a gift. So this is it. I hope you like this project, and yeah, this was Espresso project number 3. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.